Hello. Oh. Hi, Canon. Upon arriving at school, Canon immediately began to pester me. It seemed that she'd been absent from school for a while due to a training camp. Oh, what is it?
みんなも聞いて。なんすか？何かな？ん？
She threw her chin up into the air as if to herald her bragging.
のんちゃんね、今度テレビ出るよ。
What?
わあ、すごーい。
Okay, that's really cool.
いつ生放送だよ。
Yes.
いつ？ゲスト出演するの。
Oh, that's great.
だからいつなの？
Whoa.
24時間ぶっ続け生テレビっていう番組だよ。
だから俺の話を聞けよ、ノアマ。
Hey, not bad. If you're invited to be a guest on that program, then it means you've really made it big.
どんなことするの？セントラル街でね、夜中ね、マラソンしてる人に応援するんだって。
That night?
ちょうどのんちゃんのいるところがマラソンの休憩地点みたいで、のんちゃんがお水とか渡すの。
Is that so? Then a lot of people will show up to see that, won't they? When people gather, money gathers. That's great, Canon. I mean,
やっ
yes.
たー！兄さんに褒められたー。
Usami was the next to speak.
自分もテレビ経験あるんすよね。
Huh?
へえ、本当？
No, it's an obvious what a fool. As what? Some gloomy character on a comedy show?
いえいえ、アーティストとして。芸人？いわゆる一つの芸人ですね。
So it really was one of those comedy shows.
まあ、私の話はいいじゃないですか。
Aren't you the one who brought this up?
うさみん面白いな。お笑い芸人さんだったんだね。みんなすごいな。私だけ特に目立った活動とかしてないけど、私はそれでいいんです。ある。
Lunch break ended on this strange, absurd note. I dashed out of the classroom right as the bell rang. I was weaving my way through the students as I spoke over the phone. Yes, this is Azai Kiosuke. I'm heading over there right now. I need to talk with Suno Corporation's developers. I really don't want to meet with them face to face, but given that the situation still hasn't been settled after all this time, I have to at least apologize in person.
浅井くん。
I heard Tsubaki's voice. I ignored her and continued my phone call. Oh, a bit late? I see. No, it's okay. Looks like I still have some time before the meeting. So Tsubaki had great timing.
浅井くん、ちょっと遊んでいかない？
After saying goodbye, I turned off my cell phone and turned towards Tsubaki. Should be okay if it's only for an hour or so. How about Central Boulevard? She nodded like a little kid.
昨日のお礼がしたかったんだよ。
Yesterday.
ひろあき、探してくれたでしょ？
Oh, right. That was nothing.
変な浅井くん。
We headed for Central Boulevard. Central Boulevard is always crowded around dusk. So, how do you plan to repay me?
クラシックの CD とかどうかなと思って。
Oh, a gift?
何がいいかな？
Thank you for your gesture, but I already own all the CDs I want.
ああ、それもそうだね。浅井くん、クラシック通だもんね。
A fanatic? Me? Well, I wouldn't go that far. If I called myself a fanatic, it'd offend the true fanatics.
別にマニアとか言ってないんだけどな。
Oh, wait a minute. Perhaps that will be coming out soon.
あれ？
A CD by a favorite musician of mine. Although she's taking a break from music, a publishing company is still releasing her CDs. When a company has copyright to the music, even if the musicians no longer play, they can still repackage and re-release their works.
何の楽器？
The violin. Oh.
へえ、バイオリンなんだ。
No, not violin. Violin. It's a V.
ごめん。
Oh, that's cool. Her interpretation of air is my favorite.
エールって言うと？
Air on the G string. It's so moving that it brings tears to my eyes. Recently, I hear it's been used as a requiem. I can see why, too. I wouldn't mind resting in peace if I got to do so to that song.
G 線上のアリアって鎮魂歌なの？
Well, not really, but hey, you remember that big terrorist attack in America a while back? It was used during that.
へえ、知らなかった。
Anyway, I'm really looking forward to it.
楽しそうだね。
Yeah.
楽しそうだね。
Why did you say that twice?
浅井くん、クラシックの話になると生き生きするね。
Well, maybe.
浅井くんが楽しそうだとなんだか私も嬉しいよ。
I see. She really can spout some corny things, and so naturally at that. Anyway, don't bother buying me a CD. Why don't you just treat me to a cup of coffee? Yeah. You don't have any part-time jobs, do you?
そうだよ。
What about an allowance? I looked at the coffee sitting in front of me. The coffee Tsubaki paid for.
うちってそんなに裕福なわけじゃないからね。
So have you been saving your money?
夏休みとお正月にアルバイトしてたんだよ。それでなんとかやりくりしてるの。
You don't work during the semester?
弟を保育園に迎えに行ったりするからね。アルバイトしている暇はないかな。
I see. That's why you went home so quickly that other time. I'm pretty sure this is the second time I've had coffee with Tsubaki. Last time, we just chatted for a little bit before parting.
今日ももう少ししたら帰るね。
The Hiroaki's kindergarten? Tsubaki nodded. I decided to use this opportunity to get some information. Well, you have quite a large family, right?
そうだね。びっくりしたでしょ。
What about family expenses? Your budget's generally pretty tight, huh?
どうかな。苦労したことはないけど。
I put on a gentle face. You know, I heard something from an acquaintance in real estate. Oh, from an acquaintance in real estate. Your family's land is situated right in the middle of a market hotspot right now. Your folks might as well be sitting on a gold mine.
そうらしいね。
And don't take this the wrong way, but if your dad decided to sell, there are supposedly people willing to pay for your move and the first month's rent at your new house. Tsubaki remained silent. I shouldn't push her too quickly. Sorry, you probably don't want to move, do you?
心配してくれてるんだよね。
Well, the reality is they're backed by Sinnoh. The local government seems to be cooperating with them in the development of this tourist attraction as well. Things might get hairy if you keep rejecting their offers.
うちの近くの景色もどんどん変わってるもんね。ご近所さんもかなりいなくなっちゃったみたい。
Well, while the term land sharks does sound bad, they're thinking about what's best for everyone, those moving out as well as those developing.
スキー場の周りに遊園地とかできたら町の人も喜ぶもんね。
Although those developing the land benefit far more than those people who were pushed into selling their family land.
ひょっとして大きな目で見たらうちがわがまましてるってことになるのかな。
I wouldn't go that far. That's exactly what I'm saying.
でもね、浅井くん。
Tsubaki's eyes were huge.
私はお父さんの意見に従うんだよ。
I could almost feel her passion.
だって家族だもの。
Before my eyes were her true intentions, doubtless, unwavering, and stripped bare.
お父さんはたとえあの辺でうちだけが取り残されても出ていかないと思うな。私そういうお父さんを応援したいの。
In other words, even if I get Tsubaki on my side, it's to no avail. She'll choose her family over her lover. I see. You and your father are really close, aren't you?
大好きだよ。
Of all the youths fooling around this time of night on Central Boulevard, how many would you say with a serious face that they love their fathers? Would say with a serious face that they love their fathers. Yeah. You and your dad must share a lot of fond memories or something.
思い出？
You know what I mean. Beautiful stories, maybe. Like, oh, when I was little, I got lost on the mountain and my dad searched for me day and night. That sort of thing. Tsubaki chuckled.
特にないよ。全然普通だよ。家族でちょっとおしゃれなレストランに食事したり、みんなでリンゴ取ったりしたくらいかな。
Okay. That's it?
美談か。そういうのなくてもお父さんは大好きだよ。
There'd always been something I didn't like about Tsubaki, but now I knew what it was. She's too perfect. It had irked me when she ran to help Usami. Tsubaki trusts her friends just because they're her friends. Tsubaki trusts her family just because they're her family. So someone like me, who doesn't trust anyone, feels uncomfortable. I find myself wondering how someone like that could really exist.
あ、ごめん。そろそろ帰らなきゃ。
Wow, it's gotten pretty late.
昨日は本当にありがとう。これからもよろしくね。
The brightness of her smile irritated me somehow. It's not surprising. After parting with Tsubaki, I immediately made a phone call. People are just raised differently. On the other end of the line is the person I was originally supposed to be visiting in person, so no corporations develop her. I'm terribly sorry. There was an emergency that I couldn't put off. Yes, I understand. I'll make it happen. Yes. I was in a horrible mood. The daylight hours were very short today. The sky had already turned a shade of violet, and the streets in the eastern district would soon welcome the night. Dusk is the time of day when people are least on their guard. This might also hold true for children.
坊や、こんにちは。
Mao had prepared a mask specifically for this occasion, and disguised his voice along with his face. The child showed no suspicion. He walked over to Mao. There was absolutely no one around. This sidewalk was near the park, on a lightly traveled pedestrian path. Overgrown zokoba trees, unkempt by the city, gave respite from prying eyes. Due to its distance from the center of Tomenbetsu City, few people ever came here. That said, if someone suddenly showed up, he would abort his plan. After all, as he stood there now, Mao looked incredibly conspicuous.
ああ、お馬さんだ。
The child showed much interest in Mao's horse mask.
お馬さん、どうしたの？
Mao bent to his knees and spoke.
困ってるんだ。道がわからないんだよ。
道がわからないの？
助けてもらえないかな。
At that moment, the boy showed a bright, innocent smile.
うん、助けるよ。困ってる人は助けなきゃいけないってお姉ちゃんが言ってたんだ。
そう。ありがとう。いいお姉ちゃんだね。
どこに行きたいの？
美輪さんの家に行きたいんだ。
美輪？
うん。知らないかな？
The boy's big eyes grew even bigger.
美輪って僕のお家だよ。
Under his mask, Mao widened his eyes as if he was surprised.
案内してもらえないかな？
いいよ。
The boy warms easily to strangers. He hasn't learned yet to distrust others.
車なんだけど、乗ってもらえるかな？
Mao turned around and pointed to a white sedan he had parked there
お
earlier.
馬さんなのに車なの？
He tilted his little head skeptically. Surely even a Miwa child at his age has been told not to get into a stranger's car. Mao quickly thought of something.
お馬さん怪我してるんだ。だから自分の足で歩けないんだ。
大丈夫？
坊やに案内してもらえればきっと大丈夫だよ。
わかった。僕頑張るね。
He immediately ran toward the car. When Mao opened the door, he promptly jumped into the back seat. Mao followed the boy inside and sat beside him. Another man sits in the driver's seat. He's not Japanese. He's a foreign criminal specifically hired for this particular plan. Even if the police catch him, he'll simply be extradited. That's why these troublemaking foreigners make the perfect accomplices for a crime such as tonight's. Give him money, tell him what he needs to do, and then tell him to go back home. Preparations have already been made for him to stow away somewhere. Because he doesn't know much Japanese, he can't leak the plan by talking too much. The chance that the driver will reveal the identity of Mao to the police is zero. The door closed. Mao continued to inspect the surroundings carefully to confirm that there were no witnesses. The more bungling kidnappers end up getting caught because they didn't take care of this first dangerous step. One cannot underestimate the missing person search capabilities of the police. A top detective will search every nook and cranny, ask every possible eyewitness, until he finds a lead. Having a witness to the crime is basically forfeiting the match from the very beginning. He absolutely must not have a single person witness what has occurred here. No pedestrians passed by. There were also no residents around here, so there was no chance that someone may have seen it through a nearby window. Mao quickly checked in every direction to make sure everything was clear.
Go.
With absolute confidence, he gave an order in English. The car quietly moved
ねえ、
forward.
どこ行くの？僕ん家はあっちだよ。
The boy got up in his seat. He put one hand on Mao's knees while pointing out the window. The boy's slender neck was right in front of Mao's eyes. Mao took out a piece of white cloth from his pants pocket. He slowly unfolded it until the cloth covered his entire right hand. There was no drug like ether or chloroform on that piece of cloth.
Hiroaki-kun.
For the first time, he called the boy by name.
どうしてお馬さんが僕の名前を知って？
Mao reached out his hand. The boy could not finish his question. Mao aimed for his neck, specifically the left and right carotid arteries. With the speed of a spider, his thumb and middle finger pinched down. He didn't want to cause any unnecessary pain. It was only a few seconds until the boy lost consciousness. Mao had been prepared for incontinence, but the child only foamed at the mouth a bit. After wiping everything clean, the only thing remaining was a 5-year-old boy sleeping peacefully. The purpose of the cloth was to prevent any of the boy's DNA from getting underneath his fingernails. Of course, to be extra certain, he'll take a shower tonight and burn the clothes he wore today. He didn't want to leave even a single strand of hair. This is an absolute precaution against any potential police investigation later on, unlikely as it is for one to occur in the first place. His was a pathological caution, but without such caution, he'd never complete the perfect crime. He spoke to himself. Night fell. The streetlights shone into the car, helplessly streaming onto the boy's innocent face. 10 o'clock at night. For now, the boy is resting in a condemned building in the suburbs for safekeeping. It was a decrepit hospital. The locals won't go near the place. Even the homeless won't touch the building this time of the year. This knowledge is the result of thorough investigation. No matter how much the boy screams and cries, no one will come. It's a splendid building for kidnappers. Of course, to prevent him from escaping, all the locks must be secured. The door to the boy's room is made so that it cannot be opened from the inside. Inside the room are 3 blankets and plenty of food and water. There's also a heater, set at a comfortable temperature. Though he'll need better care before too long, he can be left alone for now without fear of him dying. Mao entered the next phase of his plan and headed toward the Southern District's residential area. He strolled alone through the streets of the quiet, affluent area. The goal of a kidnapper is to receive a ransom. Mao knew the basics of his plan. He was now inspecting the local, making sure there were no holes in his strategy. On the whole, there seemed to be no problems. Feeling satisfied, he started for the nearest subway station. Staying there too long may cause people to find him suspicious. The Southern District is a well-to-do area, so there are bound to be many policemen patrolling the streets. Suddenly, a voice came from the sky.
Azai-kun?
He instinctively looked up. It came from the top floor of a huge 3-story mansion. Leaning on the rail of her balcony, a young woman stood alone. He looked at the gate's nameplate. Shiratori. This house belonged to the owner of a local development company and the director of GU
こんな時間に何をしているの？
Although he couldn't see the girl's expression clearly, her tone showed transparent hospitality and disdain. Mao was forced to quickly make a decision. Should he answer her, or simply ignore her and walk away? After a moment's hesitation, Mao lowered his head and spoke.
誰かと間違えていないか？
He spoke only those words and walked away.
ちょっと待ちなさい。
Her voice echoed in the empty streets. It would be problematic if people began to congregate. He quickly left the vicinity of the Shiratori household. As with that name in his ears, Mao's heart sank into a deep darkness. His head throbbed in agony. So many words. After getting off the subway and arriving at the business district, he still hadn't found his calm. It felt as though a blizzard had frozen the darkness within his heart.
浅いではない。
Crazy. Unforgivable. Zai Gonzo. He pushed Mother over the edge. He sought out a family deep in debt and made their life a living hell. Many times Mao has told himself, I am Samajima Toshikatsu's son. He felt the pressing desire to kill a certain someone who bore the name as I. The pedestrians who approached Mao quickly moved out of his way, unable to meet his gaze. He remembers his father. He remembers the father whose name, Samajima Toshikatsu, would raise the eyebrows of anyone who heard it. Mao once swore before his father to wash away the humiliation forced on him. Mao is willing to drench his hands in blood to fulfill this oath. He will not allow anyone to stop him. Not the police, not the Yakuza, not that one hero. None of them will stand.
見つかるものか。
He's no longer that weak child. Now he has true power. Now he has money. The proof? No one had noticed. Still, no one knows that I am. Mao. I gazed upon the night sky. The time for battle has come. I reached out for the sky. Higher and higher, 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 as if wishing to clutch and shatter the moon. The pain in my skull still hasn't subsided. It's as if I have another being inside me, a being that's trying to interfere with my movements. Nevertheless, I have ways to ease this headache. I plan my revenge. Battle, capture, win. These thoughts quickly brighten my mood. At the moment, my primary objective is to see this kidnapping through to a successful conclusion. This is a perfect plan. It's so flawless that you can call the fail-safe measures redundant. The only thing left is to boldly execute the plan without hesitation. I immediately dialed the number on the phone. It's already midnight. It wouldn't be strange for a normal family to be asleep at this time. After 3 rings, someone quietly picked up the phone.
Hi, Miwa desu.
I could tell from her voice that she wasn't in her normal state of mind.
もしもし、どちら様ですか?
Obviously, the reason for Tsubaki's nervousness stemmed from the fact that her brother still hadn't come home yet. She might be crying. I just dragged an innocent family into the depths of hell. Is that not truly the role of the devil? As Tsubaki was on the verge of a nervous breakdown, I chose the right tone before I slowly began. The boy is in my hands. If you don't want him to die, follow my instructions. Although it's rather cliche, do not contact the police. It's morning already? I wasn't getting anything done last night because of a splitting headache, so I went straight to bed and slept until now. Well, it was a good night's sleep. For the first time in a while, I soaked in a nice, rejuvenating bath, washed the laundry that had piled up, and did other everyday chores I hardly ever do. What a refreshing morning. All those muddy thoughts have completely disappeared. And to think Dr. Akimoto says I may have a psychological disorder. How ridiculous. I'll go to school today. Oh, Kanon, what's up? Did you come to pick me up?
一緒に学校行こうと思ってね。
Yeah, sure. Sounds great.
Hmm.
She came a half step closer. What?
兄さんなんか機嫌いいね。
Maybe.
なんでなんで？
Who knows? Because it seems I'll be able to cap off all the unfinished work soon. I've finally made some headway in the purchase of the Eastern District's properties. Wait. Huh? Wait a minute. What headway? I've made no significant progress in that regard.
どうしたの？考え事？
I've gotten close to Tsubaki. I've even met her family, but I've hit a wall. I don't know where to go from here. Then again, I've infiltrated the family at least. I guess you could call that headway.
なんかまた不機嫌そうな顔してるよ。
Oh, sorry. I'm just not awake yet. We started walking together side by side.
兄さん、手つないでいこう。
I mean, are you an idiot? People would get the wrong idea.
何誤解って。
Come on, I don't think people would respond well to the idea of a brother and a sister dating.
別に付き合ってなくても手ぐらいつなぐよ。私カナダ行ってた時もいろんな人といっぱい握手したよ。
Okay, but this is Japan. Yeah, I don't know about doing that. Kanon kept sticking to me like glue.
ところで兄さん。
What? Why the long face?
兄さん最近バッキーと仲いいみたいじゃない？
Yes. We've just hung out a couple times.
バッキーって絶対兄さんのこと好きだよ。
Huh? Still, what she says is true. I'm not really interested in her.
ひどいよ。バッキーがかわいそうだよ。
It's not like she confessed to me or anything. Why should I worry about it?
ひどい。バッキーっていい子なんだよ。
She is indeed a responsible person.
そうだよ。掃除当番とかいつもやってるよ。
Oh, come on. Everyone else just forces it on her.
よく知らないけどニコニコしながらやってるから押し付けられてるってことはないんじゃないかな。
Wrong, sis. Someone like Tsubaki would smile even when forced to take care of someone else's responsibilities. Oh, yeah. What about that thing about being on TV?
お、忘れっぽい兄さんにしてはよく覚えてるね。
When is it? I wouldn't want to miss it if I got some time around then.
あさってだよ。
Huh? Seriously? So soon?
なんか前々からずっとオファーは来てたんだって。のんちゃんが忘れてただけ。
Hey, don't be such an airhead. The TV station has enough trouble as it is.
だってスケートリンクの偉い人が勝手に決めたんだもん。
So you don't want to do it?
これでまた人気者だよ。
What an innocent girl. I'll need to make more money so that she can stay innocent like this. After all, Kanon was only able to get into an expensive sport like figure skating because she had money. I brushed by Shiratori in the hallway.
やあ。
Despite having never interacted much with Shiratori, Kanon waved her hand as if they were close friends. Morning, Shiratori.
おはよう、浅井くん。
How can a normal greeting suddenly turn into an icy showdown? You're really cold. You know that?
あなたこそ。
Huh?
昨日は無視したでしょ。
Yesterday.
覚えていないならいいわ。
Why is she so angry?
どうしたの？
Nothing. It's just that Shiratori hates me now.
え、そうなの白鳥？別に。兄さんいい人だよ。
Canon only knows that I've been helping Gonzo with work. Not even in her wildest dreams would she suspect that said work would involve kicking Tsubaki's family out of their own home. Shiratori glared at Canon.
そう。それでいいんじゃない？
After a while, she opened her mouth to speak.
それから、白鳥とか、慣れ慣れしいこと言わないで。
She made her exit.
いやー、見ているこっちがむずがゆくなるくらいの強気っぷりですね。
Okay. As if the timing was deliberate, Usami suddenly emerged from the classroom.
あれはひどいツンですよ。ええ。
For some reason, she nods her head.
のんちゃん怒らしちゃったのかな？
Don't worry about her. We entered the classroom.
ファンキーのプリン買えないよね。夕方に行くと並んでるからね。
Eiichi's doing the usual flirting with a bunch of girls.
でも僕、お店の人と知り合いなんだ。なになに？A ちゃんまた嘘ついてるのか？
カノン。
A typical morning scene.
椿がいませんね。
Oh, she's right. It's rare to see her come in late. Wait, actually, as far as I remember, I don't think it's ever happened before.
浅井さんは忘れっぽいので信用なりませんが、確かに妙ですね。
Well, Tsubaki's only human. Even she's late once in a while.
はあ。ただ自分、違和感があるとスルーしておけないたちなんすよね。
I lower my head and start to think.
みんな、私テレビ出るよ。
Canon threw up her hands and made a commotion. We're between classes. I still don't see Tsubaki anywhere.
なあ京介、椿は？
I've been wondering the same thing.
おいおい、てめえしらばっくれてんじゃねえよ。
Huh?
どうせおめえが昨日遅くまで椿にギュッポギュッポしてたんだろうが。
Squeezing? What the heck does that even mean?
違うのか？
Of course I am. I may be a playboy, but I've never even touched her.
どうだかね。ちくしょう、俺もギュッポギュッポしたいぜ。
I swear, I have no idea how a human being could turn into a jerk like this kid. He's so different from Tsubaki. And again, I probably shouldn't be talking about other people.
浅井さん、
Usami comes out slowly.
今聞いてきたんすけど、椿無断で休んでるみたいです。
She didn't call in?
おかしくないっすか？
Indeed.
まったくだよね。一体誰のせいなんだろうね。
電話してみてもらえませんかね？
I don't have her phone number. Well, alright, that's a lie. I do have it, but Ichi would make fun of me for it.
携帯も？
She doesn't carry a cell phone.
僕提案。
Spit it out then.
これから椿ちゃんの家に押しかけるっていうのはどう？
What about class? You think we should just skip? It's rare for me to come to school, so I'd like to finish the day.
ひとまず電話してみましょう。番号は先生に聞けばわかるはずです。
Are you sure you're not overreacting? Maybe she just overslept.
椿には借りがありますから。
A favor?
ええ、アルバイトの件で助けてもらいましたから。
Right. I guess she has a strong sense of obligation or something.
それにしても椿め、僧侶の分際で私の手を煩わせるなんて。もし何事もなかったら、ギュッポギュッポしてやる。
じゃあギュッポギュッポと電話しよう。
What's with these punks? Do they just like saying the word squeezing? After getting the phone number from a teacher, I immediately call her. Oh? Someone picked up. Right after the first ring, no less.
はい、もしもし、三輪です。
I immediately noticed that something's wrong.
もしもし、もしもし。
Perhaps they heard Tsubaki's voice through the phone, but both Eiichi and Usami became grave. I quietly said, "It's Kyosuke. What happened?"
浅井くん？
By the time she responded, her voice seemed to have loosened up.
どうしたの？浅井くん。
I think that's my line. Why aren't you at school?
学園？
Huh?
ん？
学園？そっか、今日学園か。
She let out an immense sigh. What's going on? You sound like you've just been abducted by aliens.
エテ吉さん、浅井さんの例えってギャグなのかそうでないのかよくわからない時がありますよね。
だよね。半滑りだよね。
Hey, stop chatting behind my back like that. What happened? I didn't have to ask. Did something happen? It's obvious that something happened.
何が？
Don't play dumb, Tsubaki. When someone so well behaved with such great grades skips school without calling in, it's obvious that something happened.
椿ってクラス委員で生徒会長なんすよね。
そうだよ。たまにすごい忙しくしてる時あるから。
なんか真面目を絵に描いたような設定っすよね。なんか腹立つわ。
Tsubaki sighed again.
なんでもないよ。ちょっと風邪ひいてるの。
A cold? Then why didn't you call in sick?
それはたまたま、忘れてて。
何話してんすかね。
気になるよね。
Hey, Tsubaki, are you hiding something?
隠し事してないよ。
The acting is so bad it makes me want to cry.
これあれっすよね。これがギャグシーンだったら聴診器みたいのを浅井さんの携帯に当てることで自分も椿の声聞けますよね。
宇佐美さんってたまに頭悪いよね。
I lower my voice. Are you really okay?
平気。ごめんね。先生にはこれから連絡して謝っておく。
So we're back to square one. I see. So I guess you don't really trust me. I said this in a nonchalant manner. We're supposed to stick together in times of crisis, right? Why are you telling me anything? Are we not friends? It's really quite simple.
ごめん。
An innocent girl like Tsubaki can be easily shaken with words like trust and friendship. Please talk to me. We're close enough for that, aren't we? I can picture Tsubaki's pained and guilty look on the other end of the line.
ごめん。家族の問題だから。
A family matter? Her explanation made no sense to me. We've discussed your family matters before, haven't we? You had no problem talking about the possibility of having to move. In other words, this new issue is many times worse than that.
言えないよ。こんなこと。
Did someone in the family die? No, if that was true, she could just say it. There's no doubt that something outside the scope of my imagination has happened. Something downright out of the ordinary. What could it be, though?
そろそろ休み時間終わるよ。
I decided to wrap up the call. I need to hang up now. I'll ask one last time. Do you want my help? Tsubaki didn't answer. Even though she doesn't answer, it seems she doesn't want to hang up either. In other words, well, it's suspicious. She has to be asking for me now. I'm hanging up. At the same moment that I ended the call, the bell for class rang.
どうでした？
どうだった？
I thought for a bit and said, at the very least, I need to go over to her house.
要するに椿の身の回りに何かが起こっているというわけですね。
Yeah, she must be dealing with a very difficult problem.
授業はいいんすか？
Does it matter?
さすが主人公属性持ちだぜ。友達のピンチには駆けつけるってか。
わかりました。自分も行きます。本当はサボりみたいな真似はしたくないんですが。
If you don't want to miss class, don't come.
いえいえ。
Usami delightedly plays with her hair.
しかし浅井さんも普段は冷たそうにしていますが、中身はお熱い人ですね。
What are you smirking about? Let's get going. They don't understand anything. Something happened to Tsubaki's family. The first thing that comes to mind is that it's somehow related to this land conflict. As one of the people with a stake in that land, I have to rush over there and grasp the situation as fast as possible. We know Kyosuke understands these things, so I don't know why he wouldn't want to help her. The three of us get off the platform at the Eastern District station. Tsubaki's house should be nearby. I need to keep my guard up in case things get violent.
つばきちゃん
In the midst of my thoughts, Eiichi yells loudly. Hey, cut it.
会いに来たよ
He then rings the doorbell. For a moment, there was silence.
椿はさっきまで家にいたんすよね。
Yeah, do you think she just left?
とにかく何やらヤバそうですね。
Usami pointed at the window.
カーテンが閉まっています。
I see. Whatever happened was so bad that they have to close the curtains in the middle of the day. Just as I was admiring Usami's observational skills, the door suddenly opened.
みんな、
Her face was as white as a ghost. Can we come in?
ここまで来させておいて嫌とは言わせんぞ。
Well, we weren't exactly invited.
大丈夫だよ何でも僕に相談してよその代わり肉じゃがごちそうして
Come to think of it, it really is rare for Eiichi to ask for any food besides sweets. Is their stew really that good?
ありがとう。とにかく入って。
When we entered the living room, her father appeared.
君たちか。
Why is the breadwinner of the family not working at this time of day? Because he's self-employed. But even then, something's strange. Tsubaki, her father, and her siblings all sit in the family room. But her mother's not there. Did something happen to your mother?
お母さんは寝室で寝込んでるよ。
I looked at Usami. What sharp eyes. She's searching the immediate vicinity.
椿の容体を心配してくれてありがとう。でも、もう帰りなさい。学園はどうしたんだい？
Her father's words sound very forced. He pulls out the chair near the phone and sits there with a heavy look. We're just coming over for a little bit. I hope we can get back to school in time. A gaggle of formerly rowdy kids also sits there silently. One seems to be sleeping, one playing with toy blocks absent-mindedly, and another one clinging to Tsubaki's leg. The whole room seems dead.
あれ
Only Eiichi, who seems to be ignoring the somber atmosphere, manages to blurt something out.
あのガキじゃなくてほら
ええ。
As if following Eiichi's lead, Usami nods her head.
おととい探してた子がいないけど。
ヒロアキは今保育園だよ。
Did something happen to Hiroaki? As I was about to say that out loud, Usami quietly said,
ヒロアキくんだけが保育園。
Indeed, all the other kids are still home.
椿、帰ってもらいなさい。お友達には関係ないことだよ。
わかってるよ。でも
お父さん、どうしてさっきから電話の前を離れないんですか？お母さんはどうして寝込んでしまったんですか？どうして子供たちは暗い顔をしているんですか？どうして事情を話してくれないんですか？
はるちゃん。
椿。
I gulped. That one in a million possibility passed through my mind.
誘拐されたんだろう。お父さん、あなたは犯人からの電話を待っているんですよね。お母さんはショックで寝込んでいるんです。あなた方は警察にもまだ連絡していないし、犯人に連絡するなと言われているんでしょ？どうしていいか途方に暮れているんですね。
Tsubaki looks like she's about to cry.
昨日のことなの。
おい、椿。
私がもっと早く保育園に迎えに行ってあげていれば。
Last night would be after she had coffee with me.
私が保育園に行ったら、もうヒロアキは帰ったって言われて。
椿、もういい。お前のせいじゃない。
ヒロアキは保育園から一人で帰ることあるの。前にも私の迎えが遅れて一人で帰ったことあるの。
I'm also partly to blame for Tsubaki getting there late. But I never would have guessed he could be kidnapped. It's far too unreal. Is this what they call the moment when everything goes wrong?
それで
In this crowded room, only Usami remains calm.
ヒロアキくんが誘拐されたと確信に至ったのはなぜだ？
ずっと探してたんだけど、ヒロアキ夜になっても帰ってこなかったの。そしたらいきなり電話があって。
相手は息子を預かっているとでも言ったのか？
たまたま私が電話に出て。
ヒロアキくんの声を聞いたか？
いや、聞いてないけど。
じゃあ誘拐されてないかもしれなかったり。
しかし現実、ヒロアキくんは帰ってきていない。誘拐犯を名乗る人物から電話があった。まず誘拐されたと見て間違いはない。気になるのはヒロアキくんの安否ですね。
Tsubaki's surely more concerned about that than Usami.
お父さん、次に電話があったら真っ先に確認してください。
I get the feeling that at some point the atmosphere of the room started to revolve around Usami.
犯人の要求は？
それは身代金は5000万だって。それだけで。
そうか。なら少なくともあと一度は犯人はこの家に接触してくるな。
I know what Usami's getting at. He has to somehow get that 50 million, Basically, the criminal has not yet spoken about how the ransom will be handed over. Still, kidnapping. This is a genuine crime. Even I, one who is always working in the gray area of commerce, was shocked. Also, I need to ensure that a certain thing doesn't happen.
っていうか警察は
Exactly. The police.
まだ
警察には連絡するなと。
連絡したらヒロアキを
Well, that's standard procedure for a kidnapper.
警察に連絡しようかと悩んでいるところなんだ。
ダメだよお父さん。警察に連絡したことが犯人に知れたらヒロアキが。
しかしこういうのは警察に任せるしかないじゃないか。
Usami silently watched the exchange between father and daughter. Trying not to raise any suspicions on myself, I spoke calmly. Please think twice about calling the police.
どうしてだい？彼らは専門家だよ。犯罪対策のプロだ。僕らはただの一般人だ。警察に任すべきじゃないか。
Tsubaki's father is clearly becoming upset. To use such mannerisms in front of his daughter's friend, he really has lost control of his emotions. Please calm down, sir. You are correct. In fact, you can say it's a citizen's duty to call the police in the event of a crime. But, how can I put this? I need to convince him. Calling the police would be very problematic. Because if the police come, they'll investigate all of Tsubaki's family's problems. The kidnapper's motives, and why he chose Tsubaki's family, would likely come to light. The fact that this family is being pushed into selling their property would doubtlessly come up during the process of investigation. And then an investigation into Sono Corporation's land development department would doubtlessly lead to information about the Azai Corporation's involvement. If the public found out there's a relationship between a legitimate company like Sono and a shady one like Azai, all joint projects between our organizations would cease immediately. It's impossible to stay afloat in the city if the Sono Corporation won't have anything to do with you. And naturally, my own position in the company would be put in a precarious state as well. Therefore, I must prevent any police intervention at all costs. Is there any guarantee that relying on the police will bring Hiroaki back?
それは。いや、きっと警察なら何とかしてくれるさ。
I slowly shake my head. Remember that I told you a little about my father?
ああ、確か金融や不動産も扱っている社長さんだとか。
I believe he was a policeman before that.
本当かね。
I think Gonzo really was a police officer. He worked in a department that dealt with organized crime. I hear that it's not unusual for a policeman in charge of organized crime countermeasures to retire into the Yakuza, but then again, I haven't heard this directly from Gonzo himself. Now then, borrowing my father's authority was a good move, but how do I change over to the main topic? It's about time to cut to the chase. I heard from my father once that kidnapping cases, when reported to the police, well, they tend to produce casualties.
被害者。
Yes.
被害者って。そんな。
お父さん、やっぱり警察はダメだよ。
I'm not lying about this. Obviously, my last statement painted an image in their minds of Hiroaki in some sort of danger. However, in a kidnapping case, the kidnapped person and the threatened family are all casualties. One cannot measure the psychological pain and suffering family members go through. For this reason, whether the police become involved or not, kidnappings are bound to have casualties.
しかし警察なら犯人を捕まえてくれるに違いない。
Are you okay with just arresting the criminal? Isn't the highest priority to bring Hiroaki-kun back home? Tsubaki's father held his head.
しかし浅井さん、
What?
警察に連絡しなければヒロアキ君が帰ってくるという保証もありませんよ。警察の介入にやたらこだわっていらっしゃるようですが。
Well, Papa is a former police officer, so it looks like I said a bit too much.
そうっすか。
Usami stares at me with her unblinking eyes.
誘拐事件における警察の犯人検挙率は 95% だそうです。残りの 5% も特に身代金を奪われたというわけではありません。つまりこの国で警察を相手にして身代金奪取に成功した犯人はいないということです。
Son of a... Where did you get all these statistics? What are you trying to say?
警察を頼れば少なくとも身代金はほぼ確実と言える可能性で返ってくるということです。
50 million. While mumbling to myself, I had a flash of inspiration. Quite a devilish conception. However, with this, I'll be able to steal the Miwa household.
どうしました浅井さん。
No, it's nothing. Be calm. Stay calm. I pretended to have a dizzy spell and shook my head. By the way, Usami.
はい。
Usami's eyes never left me during all this time. I want to know more details about kidnapping cases.
はい。
You just said that at the very least, we can guarantee the ransom won't be taken, right?
はい。
In other words, although the money was safe, something else was not. Can I interpret it that way?
鋭いですね。
At that moment, Usami's expression clearly changed. When Eiichi and I stole the school keys, she seemed somehow different from usual when questioning us. But still, that was nothing compared to this. In fact, the horror she was emitting could easily be described as murderous intent.
浅井さんのおっしゃる通り、犠牲者は出ています。戦後から現在まで通算で約180件の身代金誘拐事件が起こっています。そのうち被害者の数は30人以上です。
30人
That's roughly a 20% mortality rate.
そんな、やだよ。お父さん、絶対ダメだよ。
Right. Even though it's only 20%, this is your little brother we're talking about. I can't get that spark of inspiration from earlier out of my mind. I did feel a bit of resistance to the idea. But I would love for the kidnapper to get his 50 million. 50 million isn't a small figure. I don't believe the family has that much in savings. In which case, they have no choice but to get a loan from the bank. when that happens, I'm sure they'll have to put up this land as collateral. And if the kidnapper steals that 50 million, they won't get it back. Then, Tsubaki and her family will have no choice but to leave their house. This presents yet another reason police involvement would trouble me. Still, in the end, I can't help but feel resistant to the whole thing. Because this would mean I'm condoning a genuine crime.
日本で警察に知られることのなかった誘拐事件というものが発生していないとは限りません。海外では身代金誘拐を専門にした犯罪者集団がいるそうです。彼らはプロで、被害者の家族が警察に連絡せずに身代金さえ都合つければ、ほぼ確実に人質を解放するそうです。相手の出方を伺ってからもう一度検討してみるというのはどうでしょう。
Usami is 100% calm right now. She's calm, but it looks as if something in the core of her heart is blazing fiercely. Tsubaki, you also oppose calling the police, right?
だって警察には連絡するなって言われたもの。
Tsubaki seems to believe even the words of a vile kidnapper. This is a good example of how sincerity can sometimes be no more than foolishness.
とにかく君たちは帰りなさい。何にせよこれは家族の問題なんだよ。
I cannot allow that. My wicked heart is jeering me on, telling me not to squander this opportunity. Sir, please let me help.
浅井くん。
I'm also partly to blame for Tsubaki's tardiness in picking up Hiroaki yesterday.
それは違うよ。浅井くんは関係ないよ。
Don't bother, Tsubaki. It turned out this way because I asked you to treat me to a cup of coffee. I lowered my eyes. That aside, sir, how do you plan on assembling the ransom?
身代金
Whether you rely on the police or not, I still think there's a need to prepare the 50 million.
そんな大金うちには。
I'll try asking my father. If I explain the circumstances, I think he'll loan you the money at a low interest rate. Of course, I'll make sure you use this land as collateral.
それは。
He seemed to be at a loss for words. Maybe it's because he has nowhere else to turn. He can only sigh in dejection. Tsubaki, would you also be willing to let me handle this? When I say I feel partly to blame for the kidnapping, I'm not lying. So from among the lenders under the Solo Alliance umbrella, I plan to choose one that's relatively decent.
浅井くん。ありがとう。
Tears well up in Tsubaki's eyes. Her father sits speechless. Man, it's scary.
いやいや、さすがの俺ちゃんもシビアに引いちゃったぜ。
Very scary. Afterward, the three of us left. For now, we'll wait for the kidnapper to call again. Usami and I parted at the Eastern District Park. On the way back, Usami didn't say a single word. She seemed to be thinking that whole time. Come to think of it, weren't you pretty quiet that whole time?
おいおい、俺くらい空気を読める男になるとよ、なんつうの、さすがに無駄口を叩かないっつうの。
Actually, I think you're just about the most oblivious guy I know. Anyway, keep your mouth shut about this.
あってるって、ペットにすら言わねえよ。
Suddenly, Eiichi stopped in his tracks.
しかし、椿のやつ、大丈夫かね。
What's this all of a sudden?
いやよ、さすがに誘拐ってマジサスペンスドラマかよっての。
It came as a shock to me, too.
なんか俺にできることないんかね。なんだよ、なんか変なこと言ったか？
It's just, don't you usually treat younger women like...
メス豚でも俺ペット好きだし。
female dogs. I'm not sure what that's supposed to mean, but it seems that even Eiichi is worried about Tsubaki.
帰るわ。
Yeah.
そうだ、椿にプリンでも買ってやるか。うん、あいつは単純そうだからそんなもんでも喜ぶだろ。俺マジ優しくね。
He leaves mumbling to himself. Alright, I still have things to take care of. No rest for the wicked. But before that, I need to pay Gonzo a visit. I need him to give me the name of a good loner. I await the train to the southern district. Still, even someone like Eiichi is a good person at heart. What about me? After arriving at Gonzo's house, I explained the circumstances. So in summary, if Miwa Tsubaki's household uses its land as collateral for the loan, everything will be dealt with tidily. Therefore, could you introduce me to someone who could prepare 50 million right away? Gonzo didn't agree to anything. He just held his dignified posture. What do you think, Father? Father? His heavy mouth remained shut. Feeling a little scared, I gulped.
誘拐か。犯罪だな。
Yes.
警察に届けてもいいんだぞ。
His words were hiding something, and his voice held a coercive tone.
通報すれば、県警本部から捜査一課は特殊犯捜査係の刑事がやってくる。連中は誘拐対策のプロだ。誘拐ほど失敗の許されない事件捜査はないと叩き込まれている。すぐさま捜査本部が敷かれ、300人体制で捜査に臨むだろう。逆探知や音声解析などの技術的な進歩も目覚ましいし、何よりここの県警は警視庁との連携もうまくいっている。まず間違いなく犯人は上がる。身代金も奪われることはないだろう。
He's saying this calmly, as if he's directly seen the inner workings of police. Indeed, that is why I want to absolutely prevent any police intervention.
ほう。
As long as the kidnapper takes the money, they'd have to move away. When I said that, my mood turned sour.
いいんだな。
What do you mean?
犯罪を容認するというのだな。
It's as if he saw right through the hesitation in my heart. Well...
誘拐は最も卑劣な犯罪だ。何の罪もない市民を人質に取り、理不尽な要求を突きつける。人質が5歳の幼児ともなればなおさらだ。
What's he getting at?
いいんだな、京介。
A chill went through my spine. I understand. Gonzo's testing me. He's questioning my conscience, testing my capacity as his livestock. That thought queered my mind. To be honest, I'm a bit hesitant. At that moment, a heavy gust of wind suddenly blew past me. Sparks flew before my eyes. My vision suddenly went white. An acidic taste filled the inside of my mouth. I couldn't move. It was like the strength to maintain my body was leaking out through all my pores. A sharp pain ran through my head. Did he pull me up by my hair?
くだらん生き物だな、貴様は。
His cold eyes were bottomless.
善にも悪にもなりきれんのか。
I was terrified. My whole body froze, even the blood in my veins iced over. Confusion, agitation, any negative emotion you can name. I'm feeling that right now.
お前はその三輪椿という女を助けたことがあるな。
Huh? I don't know what he's talking about. The only thing I could comprehend was his menace.
スカウト会社にうちの名前を出した。そうだろ。
Now that you mention it. Bearing such intense pressure, I slowly pieced together the events that happened that day. I'm pretty sure there was a time when Tsubaki got tricked by a scout on Central Boulevard. I used the Azai Corporation's name and instructed him not to lay a finger on Tsubaki.
なぜあの時は助けた。
He violently shakes my head.
なぜ今さら両親に揺れる。
He finally releases me.
いいか京介、俺についてきた時点で貴様に待っているのは地獄だけだ。
Yeah.
金がいるんだ。
Yes.
お前の親の借金をお前が返すんだろ。
Yes.
いくら。
200 million. My father's, Samajima Toshikatsu's debt. It was only 50 million at the time, but it had a heck of an interest rate attached, and exploded up like a snowball.
ならとっとと稼げ。たかが2億だ。
That's right. I followed Gonzo in order to pay back my father's debt. Everyone who knows about that says, what an amazing child to do such a thing for his father. But it's no such beautiful story. Paying back money to the Yakuza requires severe life or death tactics and bargaining. 200 million yen. This isn't some amount you can casually deposit into a bank. And the longer I wait, the more interest it will accumulate. I understand. The sense of terror rapidly lessened. The need for the money has gotten to the point where I've had to consensually sell my soul. This accursed attachment to money pushes me on. There's still only 50 million yen in my safe. I will not fail. Satisfied with my answer, Gonzo deeply nods.
よし、人間の顔になった。
I finally have the resolve. No longer will I think about Tsubaki. I can only walk my own path. Of course, I know that my path leads to her. Okay. I can do it. Perhaps it's because of all the excitement, but my head started to hurt. After leaving Gonzo's place, I stumbled towards Central Boulevard. My consciousness was muddled. I let the headache run its course. What is he going to do? You can do this, Kyosuke. Oh, scary. Very, very scary. Bye.